So in this problem 4.31, we'll create this part first and then this one. So start sketching on front plane. So diameter value is 76. So select it, display as radius to verify it. Now let's draw a center line. Having length 315. Let's make them symmetric and add the dimension between them 35. Now let's add 3-point arc. Whose radius is 25. Now make sure it is aligned with the origin. Now its dimension from here to here is given as 34. Now let's trim out additional geometries. Now let's add circle, which is of 12 value. Now let's add center point arc. Now the radius is 20. Now let's add a line. Should be tangent. Now let's mirror it. And let's trim this part. Now let's try what's the problem. So let's make this line and this line symmetric. Now let's extrude the first part. So this region, let's say at middle plane it is 15. Let's use same sketch again, this time this region, but it is having 5 mm. Now let's add fillet of radius 30. Now let's measure the volume. This is correct answer, but the solution answer is different from our answer. So from other users on internet, I found this, our answer is correct. Now let's attempt 4.32. We'll begin sketching on right side of this shape, then we'll extrude it, then we'll provide this cut, dovetail cut, and then we'll add this straight slot. So let's start sketching on a right plane. Now let's provide dimensions. This is 100. So from here to here it is 31. This is 25. And this angle is 32. Also, the length of this is 10. Now let's add dimensions 60. Now let's extrude the sketch by 42. Now let's add a dovetail cut over here. Let's draw a center line. Let's start using midline. Let's make this line and this line symmetric about center line. Now let's start applying the dimensions. This is overall 23. From here to here it is 7. And from here to here it is 55. Now let's go and create extrude cut. This time it is through all. Now let's add the slot. Now let's use straight slot and tick the add dimensions. So horizontal distance given as 19. And this is 7 means 14. Now let's locate its center position by 17. And let's the center point to be aligned vertically. Now let's offset by 2 mm as given in the sketch. Now let's go to create extrude cut first. This time I will use middle region. Now let's expand and reuse same sketch. Instead mid plane, let's go upside, and this depth as given is 4 mm. Now let's add fillet having value 3. And also applied to this edge and this edge. So let's measure the volume. So it is 104271, which is completely correct. Let's try 4.33. We'll first create this bracket portion in front, and in the top we'll create this sketch and we'll extrude it. So start sketching in front. Let's use midpoint line. Now let's add dimensions. This is 25, and from here to here center is 50. Now let's add a slot. Now let's add the dimensions. This is 7. This is 25. Now let's extrude by 10 as given. Now let's go on a top plane. Let's draw center line. Let's drop the rectangle. Align this line with this. Now let's drop the circle. Now let's add dimensions. 48. Then one is 76. Now let's drag them and create some space. Now let's assign center distance. So it is assigned from here to here. It is given as 50. Now let's select this and this line and make them coincident. Now let's trim out additional part. Now let's draw few more circles having diameter 15. Now let's try center point arc. Now radius is 18. Now center distance is 45. Now let's make sure they all are vertically aligned. Now let's add 3-point arc. first, second, and third. Now let's make them tangent. And let's add value. The value is 50. Let's trim the part. Now let's mirror sketch. And let's trim out the additional geometry. Now let's add the small cutout, which is at an angle of 25. Now for that, let's create a center line. Now let's apply the angle value. It is 25. Now let's draw a line. Now this should be equally symmetric. Now let's make them parallel. And let's add distance between them is 5, 6. Now let's remove so let's extrude. This region and this region. Now depth is 10. Now let's apply a radii, which is 10 over here and over here. Now let's measure volume. So it is 70920, which is completely correct. Now let's solve problem 4.34. This is completely depends on your sketching skill. So first we try to draw this line, and we add this shape, and then gradually we add this shape, and we'll extrude respectively by the given value along with these holes and try to match the answer. So begin sketching in front plane. I will use mid line, which is exactly of 80. I will use center line, which is of 75, and also use same center line, but of, let's say, just for reference purpose, it is 35. Now let's provide the dimensions. Now the angle between this and horizontal line is 60 as given. Now let's draw midpoint line here. This should be parallel to center line. They must be symmetric above. Now let's add the dimensions. So overall dimension is 50. Height is, let's cancel this. Now height is 35. I want you to ignore these 35 dimensions. It is just used for sizing the center line. It has nothing to do with any change in feature. So now let's manage this. Select center line and these and make them symmetric. Now this is 25, 30, This must be a line. Now let's add the line over here. Now here, the angle between these two lines is given as 20 degree. Let's also add the vertical dimension. Probably I know it is going to be a reference dimension because already our top geometry is fully defined. Now let's add radius, which is of 35. Now to completely fully define, let's make this sketch tangent with this vertical side. Now let's add fillet of 5. And now let's place the holes. So here it is having diameter 23. Place from the bottom 20. So from here to here it is at 20. Now let's draw one more circle having diameter 9. Now the center distance between these two is 25. Now let's go and extrude. First we'll extrude the top part. Right click mid plane in direction 1. And okay, that's not we have to do because it is reference to this part. So let's choose this. Instead of mid plane we need to use, as per the condition, the blind options. So here it is 5 mm. So you need to be very careful. Now let's expand this and again use the same sketch. Instead of, we'll try to use offset from surface option and we'll choose this surface and we'll add 10 millimeter. So it is given in the sketch. Now let's add fillet of 5. Now select on this surface and create. Let's click again. Instead of chain, let's use one by one. So click OK. Now let's trim away additional geometry. Now let's extrude the region. Now its depth is given 7. Now let's add the fillet. Now fillet is given of 15. Now let's measure the volume. So it is 42303, which is close to what is given. Let's type first our answer. Divided by 42225. So it is within the 1%. So our answer is correct. In 4.35, in front plane, we are going to draw the sketch, extrude by 10, and then we'll add the fillets, and lastly we are going to create the holes. So start sketching in front plane. Now let's apply dimensions. Divide degree. Now let's align this line and this line. And let's apply overall dimensions, which is 37. Also, apply same dimension here. Now let's make this line and this line equal. Now let's add dimension to this portion, which is 5. Now let's add over here center line, which will be used as a reference for creating the mirror geometry. So let's draw rectangle. Now it is 2 and 8. Now from here to here it is 3. So let's trim this part. Now select this one, and this one. So let's draw a reference center line. Now select this, and click on mirror and select this center line. Let's apply. Now let's extrude by 10. And this time I use mid plane. Okay, now let's apply fillet. Typically it is having value 2 here. Let's create a hole. Here I will use center line for reference purpose. Draw the circle. Now let's go and extrude cut through all. Let's change the display style to see the changes. Now let's create larger hole. So it is having value 5. Now it is located from the base is at 12. Now let's make them vertical. Now let's measure the volume. So it is 3179, which is complete match with the solution answer. In 4.36, we'll use the revolve feature to create the outer body. Then apply chamfer and then this cut. Now here hint is given, both the D shapes features are having same size. So at the bottom, we are going to use this dimension and same reference dimension will be used over here. But the only change will be the diameter. We'll provide the cut and we'll drop this small hole. But here we'll also have to apply this fillet of a radius 5. Now confusing matter is here dimension is not perfectly defined. So we assume that it is a line, then we have a right angle and then up line. And after giving the fillet, we're going to get this shape. Create sketch on front plane. So let's draw first line of 40. Now let's add the dimensions. The top dimensions. Now for that, to create a diameter dimension, we require center line. So let's select this and this, which is 13. Similarly, here it is given as 19. This height is 16. So let's use revolve feature. Now let's apply chamfer features. having value of 1. Now let's add a cut over here at the bottom. So here let's add circle first, having diameter 12. Now let's add a line, vertical line. Now it is located from outer periphery by 2 mm. Now let's remove the additional geometry. Okay, this time we will go for extrude cut and use this region. Instead of through, we'll apply distance 14. Now also add the small hole having diameter 2. Now let's add its location at 7. So from here to here, it should be vertically aligned. Now let's cut it. Instead, we need to reverse the directions. Now let's apply fillet. So value is 5. Use this right click. Similarly, apply second time. You cannot use in a single feature, otherwise it will fail. Now let's create a sketch over here. This time I have to use this circle and convert into entities. Let's make sketch visible. Now let's take apart. Now select this. Okay, now sketch is visible. Let's convert this into entities and extend to outer circle. Now let's exit and create extrude cut. Let's change the style. Instead blind, we need to add the depth of 6, but the region is this one. Okay, so let's click OK. Now let's turn off the display. Make sure everything is added. Now let's measure the volume. So here it is 6304 and the answer is given 6307. So it is very close to provided solution. So let's check the difference. 6307 divided by 6304. Now in 4.37, you need to be very careful. It looks simple, but you have to focus on this slot cutout. Here it is 10, 11, 12 and 13. So it is not uniform. So we will tackle this variation in circular sketch pattern. So start sketching on front plane. So first circle of 50, second 7. Now let's extrude by 13. Let's provide the chamfer of 2 by 45. Now let's create a slot. Now use straight slot. Now let's add dimensions. So this is 10. We also need to draw one more circle having diameter 24. Now it should be construction circle on which this center must be coincident. So let's try to convert this outer circle and trim the additional part. But moment I do that, what happened? This slot dimension will be eliminated. So let's keep these options and remove this. See, this is what exactly happened. So better thing is to not to trim the slot. Now let's see what problem is. So this is the problem. So let's correct it. And let's trim this part. Okay. Now let's cut this. Now here, let's create the circular pattern. So for reference, we'll use this center. Now we require 4 and this is our feature. But here we have to go at this bottom and we need to click on instance to vary. So here let's make this angle 90, or instead let's click these dimensions and vary by 1 millimeter. So this is 10, this is going to be a different value. Now let's try to modify this and see what is the dimension. So this is 12. Now let's try these as well and see the variation. So this is 11, 10, 11, 12 and 30. So let's click OK. Now let's measure the volume. So it is completely matched with the given solution answer. In 4.38, we'll begin sketching this side. We'll extrude it. Along with also draw these holes. And from the top, we are going to remove this material. And lastly, we are going to add this small hole. So start sketch on front plane. Now let's add dimensions. This is 96. This is 150. This is 52. This is 28. Now let's drop some fillet having value of 23 on this side, another of 9 at the bottom side. Now let's add a vertical line whose location from is given as 16. Now let's add circle. Having diameter 30, same center, another 12. Now from here to here it is at 23. Now select this midpoint, select center and make them horizontal. Or you can draw a center line and place this circle on the end of center line. So let's extrude. So this time I will go mid plane. Overall depth is 23. Now let's create a cut. For that we need to use the same sketch. So this time I will use right click mid plane and the depth is 12. Now let's use same sketch and create extrude cut. This time I will enlarge a circle. Instead this surface, let's choose this surface and reverse the direction. Now let's add small hole over here whose diameter is 6. So from here to here, center distance is 12. Make sure they are aligned vertically. And let's go and create extrude cut. Now let's measure the volume. Here it is 15, 22, 80, which is correct answer. In practice problem 4.39, we have given a bracket shape and some dimensions, but here we have given a hint that use same dimension for both the ends. Now because we are practicing for CSWA, so first we are going to create this sketch with dimension and we'll repeat the same over here with the same dimensions. I will also try to demonstrate how same can be used by different way. Start sketching on front plane. Let's use midpoint line. Now let's add circle. Now let's add dimensions. 50, 32. This is 18 means 36. Now let's press S key and extrude. This time depth is 22. Now let's go on a top plane and create similar geometry, because we have been given as a tip that we have to use same dimensions. So this is going to be 32, center distance 50, one more circle of radius 18. Now let's extrude and click OK. Here this is the correct answer, 166,787. What is given in solution is not correct. So same answer is reported by many user on internet. So our model is correct. Now let's try this time. Select this sketch and select top plane and go to insert and click on derive sketch. Now here let's drag this. Now let's go to sketch entities, sketch tools and modify. So instead, let's 270 again, done. Now let's drag this. So let's select top view and try to align this point. Now let's also align this edge collinear. Now it is fully defined. Now let's extrude. So this way also we are going to get same answer. Now what is the benefit of derived sketch? Now this second sketch is depend on the first sketch. Let's try to verify how it works. So instead of 36, let's say it is 20. So this whole update along with this second feature. See, this is the benefit of derived sketch. Let's solve problem 4.40. Here we'll draw the sketch in front along with the circular part and we'll extrude first the center part and this one. And lastly, we are going to apply the fillets. So start sketching on front. Let's draw a midline. Now let's use center line. Now let's give dimension first and then we'll mirror it. So from here to here it is 225 and from here to here it is 750. Let's drag this. Now let's add few more dimensions. This is going to be 40. and this is going to be 100. So select these 3 lines, click on mirror. Okay, I forget to add this vertical line. Select this and right click. Now let's add circles. Diameter is 50. Radius is 70, so diameter is 140. Now this and this is tangent, and this is also tangent. So this way the location of hole is given. Now let's extrude. First we are going to extrude this center part. Right click mid plane, and the width will be 85. Expand the same sketch again, extrude this time remaining part, but the thickness is 40. Now let's add fillet. So the top fillet having radius 30. Now let's add remaining fillet. So this is 10 and this is 10. Okay, I forget to add one more. So this neck area is also filleted. Now let's measure the volume. So it is completely matched with the provided solution answer.